Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel here. It's the Mac, and welcome back to brand new spanking Panzer campaigns. Can hardly pronounce it. Rumyantsev 43, the latest Panzer campaigns title released from Wargame Design Studios there. And I'm very happy to receive a evaluation copy here from Wargame Design. I want to thank a lot for that. And to show this game for you guys on the channel here. So, another Panzer campaigns, man. Right, look at this. Fired up, you can see some big differences over here. The toolbar is completely new. So this game is using the 4.01 upgrade. It's going to come up for every single Panzer campaigns title being released, but this one is since this is the latest release, it's also got the latest goodies in it. Right, so I got to say right off the bat, it's a very interesting title, this, and it actually goes in good order of me showcasing the Kharkov 43 there, and then you have the Kursk 43, and this picks up right after Kursk, actually. So it's been a gap in Panzer campaigns after the Kursk title, and there was a lot of operations and actions going on before the 44 assaults on Germany itself and all the closing in there. So and all in Poland and all that. So this is really interesting. There's some stuff that I actually didn't know about either. I mean, this is sort of a forgotten time here, right after Kursk. Everybody's just focused on Kursk, but what happened after that is also very interesting. Right, so we fired it up. You can see here some big differences. We're going to go into that. I guess the best way would be to actually go in on the website, and many of you guys seeing this has probably already read this. There are hardcore fans of the Wargame Design Studios, but some of you guys are tuned in who don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Just go in here to Wargame Design Studios. This is where all these games are and where you can buy them online. So, yeah, the 4.01 update. So the big changes we're going to be seeing are the gold toolbar, which has been updated to this sort of divided toolbar where you have every single aspect of the game and all the buttons associated to that in that category. So easily more jump to what if you're going to do all your combat, you might as well just have the combat button open and use your icons there. So it's kind of cool. I like it. I think they've done this for the American Civil War titles. They have received this update. I'm not sure if they have done that to the Napoleonic games yet, but it's probably coming there as well. Right, so they have that. It was pretty cool. That's going to be in this. They have this roaming mode they have made now, and you can actually also holding tab button for quick access to terrain. So what the roaming button is that it's actually, if you activate it, you can move your cursor around. We're going to be seeing that when I'm playing the game. And before you had to actually click a unit to get this in the toolbar here. But now you can just sort of hover your mouse pointer over units and you'll instantly see what it is. It's cool. I like it. Even though I played many of these titles and I'm sort of really used to the old system, it's going to probably be a learning curve to get into that, moving their mouse instead. But that's because spending so many hours playing these games, you get damaged, basically. Moving on, so there's a lot of new features as well. It says here, for example, here's a game map with various elevation values shown. Yes, you can click on that. You can see the different elevations. Base defense modifiers could be good to click in there. This is a shot with the slope hex sights turned off. Yeah, okay. And these are the hex highlights. Okay, interesting. While this image is with a hex outline for hex highlights. Okay, so you get that different kind of modes there. Instead of getting the whole map dark, you just get these yellow to show the line of sight, I guess. And yeah, another feature they've introduced is gameplay speed. So there's been a lot of complaints that it's a long time for the computer. I mean, to play them because the computer's slow. Well, not slow, but you know, you have to see all the fighting animations and stuff. And you can actually now change that to different speeds, which is great. And you can also use shortcut commands, F5 and F7, to increase and decrease. Actually, hold on. Speed up is F7 there. Slow down, F5. All right. Default F6. All right. Yeah, and they got these buttons here as well, including in the dynamic toolbar. Speed buttons control can adjust by the button hotkey. Okay, so you can actually you could pause it as well. Stuff if you need to leave your computer in a hurry and get another cup of coffee, crack open a beer. I guess you could just pause it if you want to follow it. Yeah, they have the new file structure as well. And leader graphics, I like that. They got the accurate portraits of the commanders that were part of these big formations. Bug fixes, apparently. We have corrected the ability to initiate an invalid assault, which subsequently created defensive fire. Yeah, that was the thing I was kind of annoying, I thought, before. That if you planned an assault, but then, nah, maybe not. But if you sort of initiated it, the enemies will start firing at you, even though you haven't actually called the assault to start, you know. So I guess they fixed that. That's great. And documentation has been updated as well. They got this summary info now. It's in the game folder as well. Lots of good stuff, I guess, you know. It's good to have a little. If you got separate monitor setups, you can. I have that. I rarely use it though, but I should use it more. You can have all these documents on one screen and then play the game on another one. So cool stuff there. Right. So yeah, let's get into the almighty notes. This is basically I really like this title. It's also spanking new. There's not that many, like hundreds of different versions that I used to complain about on these scenarios. They have this is brand new. There's not going to be any Ed Volcano Man version or somebody else version and updated. This is like made now. I mean, it's just been released, so it's all up to date, and all the scenarios are in there, and that's good information as well, covering them in the game. I'll show you. For instance, see here. This one is like clearly head to head. This one here is German player, Russian player. This is the full campaign here, 218 turns. It's pretty massive. But it's clearly stated who to play what, which I like. So really good stuff. Quite a few scenarios here as well. So we can open up the map. Why not? Let's see what this is. Yeah, so this is the all right, okay, the toolbar. Yeah, I gotta get used to it. Let's see. So I guess pressing map there would bring me up to where's the jump map here? Okay, so it's gonna take me some time to. Okay, so here you have those coordinates. Wow, it's pretty small, but you can see it and zoom in there. Have you have okay, so I can do that. All right. Contours. Yeah, I like contours. It's good. Map combat modifiers. Yes, this is so. Look at this. It's cool. 20% there. You got 0 on the open ground, 10% in the fields. You got 30 in the built-up areas there. So that's cool. I like that. Map elevations, as we said before. Specials on top. All right. Let's see. Here's the jump map. It's actually like a permanent part of the thing here. Yeah, so it's big. It's huge. Look at this map, man. Wow. It's pretty massive. We've got Sumi there. What do we got over here? Chenchenka. Yeah. Where's Kharkov? Here, maybe? Yeah, here's Kharkov. All right. Yeah, so here you have the... Okay, we can't actually display the roaming mode now. We'll do that in a Let's Play. Yeah, so massive stuff going on here, man. It's pretty big. You have Belgorod. And I guess you should have, yeah, you have Prokhorovka there. Guess maybe not, maybe Kursk is not on the map here. I guess not. Yeah, so there's some cool things in this game. For instance, yeah, the Almighty Notes. It's just everything's here. It's really well written, and it's good flow of. So they have the good old introduction here. It basically tells you that in the summer of '43, there after the Kursk, the failed attack of Kursk, the pincer here that was going to cut off this bulge and destroy those forces. This was actually this was like a real planned operation for the Germans, but it was also a planned operation for the Russians, and they had massive plans of, because they sort of anticipated that the Germans were going to fail this, and they had sort of a counterattack in mind to strike back and then follow the Germans and seize. They actually seized Belgorod and Kharkov back. What the Germans actually retook in the beginning of the year there. So it sort of follows the Kharkov 43 there, yeah. And then you have, I mean, obviously the Kursk title is covering this whole massive operation. It was huge, massive operation here, all these units involved. And then you have this Rumyantsev picking up. So the cool thing is there's actually a scenario in here, Kursk scenarios in this game. Let's see. Yeah, so they have the Citadel, the southern flank. It's actually included in this, which is really cool. The whole southern flank attack, and then it picks off with the Rumyantsev operation there, and it's all broken up and divided into different operations here. The Battle of Belgorod again comes up there, and then you have Germans actually mounted a few counterattacks as well during this time. Sumy, the Kharkov battle is pretty massive, 123 turns there. They actually have one that's scripted for the German player, which is pretty cool. So some of these bigger scenarios now are actually scripted as well to be played human versus AI. I like that. Yeah, and then they have the counterattack at Belgorod. The Germans mounted a pretty devastating counterattack as well, and then it sort of ended there. Boromlaya as well. Okay, yeah, Sol River there. All right, so that's cool stuff. They got that included here. So it goes on. It tells you the whole story of the battle here and what happened. And this is here. You can see the counterattack there. The defeat in the east there, and yeah, they talk about since the Kursk was released during the summer of '43, had not been represented in any Panzer campaign series. This is a vacuum that was wanted to fill, so that the player could experience and enjoy making key decisions about difficult situations. There's a lot of fluent battles going on here, and the Russians are constantly on the attack there with their massive superiority in artillery, and there were some of the most intense air battles as well during this phase of the war, because the Luftwaffe and the Russian Air Force were engaged in some pretty badass battles and trying to get dominance of the skies and stuff. So lots of stuff was going on here, man. And here they go in about what they have taken, some books that they have got most of their research from. So I really like that. I mean, you can get these books and read them yourself. I like that they actually have that. And then they have the designer notes for the scenarios. And really well written, just goes on here, tells you exactly the flow of the battle and what happened. The introduction of the more advanced weapons as well was more and more. The Tigers and the Panthers were being showing up a lot more often at the front now. Still, Tiger was a proven beast, but the Panthers still have problems, and they were struggling with it, mechanical failures and stuff. But they started to see that it was a very deadly tank and very good tank for its time, and the problem was they just couldn't mass produce it to compete with the hordes of T-34s. Yeah, so here they go in. So the campaign and operation phases scenario. So the Kursk is on the flank here. Talk about that. So that's included in the game. Really cool. I like that they actually included that, so you get the feel of the sort of failed attempt of the Germans, or you can maybe pull it off as well. But I mean, I like that it's in the game. Then they have the Belgorod-Kharkov offensive operation, also known as Operation Polkovodets Rumyantsev. Was one of the counterattacks planned by the Soviets after the Operation Citadel. The first of which, Operation Kutuzov, was launched the 12th. The second operation of Rumyantsev was launched on August the 3rd. And the third operation, Suvorov, started on August 7th in the area of Smolensk. So wow, they really retook some territory there. The Germans were really hard pressed. I mean, the Russian hordes were coming, man. So also kind of a sensitive title, as I mentioned when I was covering Kharkov 43. It takes place on areas that we're actually seeing battles today. Russia's aggression versus Ukraine there. Yeah, so they break through there, the second phase. They have it all here. It's a really good read. And here they also have a lot of the suggestion optional rules for the game, what rules to use. You can, of course, choose your own, but these are probably best to use if you play against the AI. The game has been designed that way, but if you play versus human opponent, you can do whatever you feel like. And they have mentions about the order of battles, the Soviet, and they have the German order of battle. Look at that beast, man. Yeah, the Germans, all the research that got into that. The map is cool. The campaign map is the final product after a union of several maps from previous games. The Belgorod-Kharkov area has been treated in several titles of the Panzer campaign series, such as Kharkov 42, Kursk 43, and Kharkov 43. The first step was to determine how much of this region was needed before joining it to portions of the map from Kursk. So they sort of stuck. They had all out those maps, to sort of stick them together, and you know, I like that. Operation Polkovodets Rumyantsev, the campaign. So here they have all about that. The fourth battle of Kharkov there. And they used a heck of a lot of artillery in that attack. That was the Germans. I mean, the Russians strong was the artillery. They had so many guns, so much they could just obliterate areas there. The Germans just couldn't compete with that firepower of artillery. So that was the Russian doctrine there. The breakthrough, so they broke through there on August 3rd. Was the opening artillery barrage that lasted, the next stage of the attack. And the gap that was formed, smashed through there. The Germans actually did some pretty devastating counterattacks on the Russians. The Russians lost a heck of a lot of troops, but they could expend that. I mean, they had loads of troops just throw into the battle there, so the Germans couldn't replace their casualties. So there was here's that counterattack at Borgodov. So some really powerful German units was actually used in this fight as well. The Das Reich, Totenkopf, Viking, all these famous SS divisions took part. At the same time, the battle for Sicily and Italy was going on, and the Germans really had to divert a lot of forces to cover that flank as well. So that was also one part of them actually losing this fight, was because so many units had to be diverted to different fronts. So many different fronts opened up. And then, of course, you have the Western Front opening up in June 44 there. The D-Day and the Americans and the Brits, Canadians coming in there. So, I mean, they were surrounded. They were being attacked from three sides there. So, I mean, they just couldn't cover it. And here they go in the last part. They talk. There's a description of all the scenarios included there. So, really good there. Good documentation. Looking really forward to playing this game. It's going to be fun to see. Pick some cool battle here to play. Something interesting. What else is here in this folder? Yeah, we do have. The Getting Started is really well written as always. Very nice and slick and clean, and good scenario this to get yourself into the game. Learn the basic mechanics. And of course they've included some of those new features, so you get the hang of that. Really good. Yes, this is definitely a title worth picking up if you want to complete your East Front stocks of titles there from the past campaigns. Really good. Um, yes, this map is good as well. I mean, look at all this. It's a very interesting time here. It must have been really disheartening, though, for the Germans after all those gains of territory in Manstein's famous backhand blow, pushing the Russians back, and then they had that really awful Kursk offensive that was just sort of the Russians knew all about it and sort of prepared, and those poor German divisions just bounced their heads versus brick walls, and I mean it was just slaughter. There's no way in hell that they could actually get through that those defenses there at Kursk, but they always made it, which is kind of fascinating as well. That they almost pulled it off there. Yeah, 3D graphics are the same. I guess they haven't made much improvements here over the time there. It looks kind of more slick, but not that much. I'm finding it very hard to play in 3D actually in the past campaigns. I really like the operational view here since you're moving such big units around, like whole companies and battalions and stuff. So it's easier to like have an overview of what's going on. The old the old hexagon games there. Yeah, what else to say? I'm not sure. Probably will go more in depth when I pick a scenario here and play. So really good. Get this title. It's the latest one they released. Really worth picking up. So many scenarios here. Good ones too, and there's lots of smaller ones as well. They're not huge, all of them, but some really interesting ones here. Yeah, the Battle of Belgorod would be fun to play. Army recon attack there, so it's good. They're all in the time sequence as well, which is really good. Here's something: the Das Reich Strike Back. This looks interesting. Maybe I'll play this. I'm not sure. If you guys see anything, write something down in the comments there. If there's anything you want me to try out. Intended for Russians there. Okay. Head to head. Some of these are pretty big. 28 turns. Just not that. I mean, it's playable. Definitely. These are bigger though. The Kharkov ones. The Battle of Kharkov. Let's just have a look at that. No. Should be pretty big. Wow, look at the units here. Jeez. All right. Yeah. Look at the massed units here. It's nuts. So here we have something here. We have the 6th Panzer Division there. Yeah. Panzer 4Gs and 3s. Got some Marder 2s there. Let's see if I get. Yeah, it's going to take some time to get to with these buttons here. So he's part of the northern flank there. Yeah, Raus. 168th Infantry Division there, sort of reserve there. 88s. Look at the Russians, man. Yeah, so overall, pretty bad morale there. They got more morale C and D. You have guards C, T-34s. The Guards Division here. Rifle Battalion there, 351 men. Part of the Rifle Regiment there. It's going to be tough to punch through here. That's Kharkov, all right. Let's have a look at this big one here and see what it looks like. Pretty massive. Wow, look at this. Yeah. Whoa. Oh my God. Yeah. Lots of units. Okay, we got Belgrade there. Wow. Battle of Prokhorovka there, yeah. Well, you can clearly see the Germans are outnumbered here pretty vastly. Yeah, there's just lines and lines of units moving in here. Let's look at the jump map again there. Yeah. Yeah, wow. Yeah, so it's going to be fun. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And I'm going to probably take up some, talk a bit more in the upcoming videos, but I'm going to end it here. And hope you guys are going to be enjoying this. And I want to thank you for watching there. Like and subscribe. And we'll continue this in the next part.